So because we did Pythagorean theorem, so let's consider now SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA is basic trigonometric ratio. So you can actually call it trig ratio, and we are focusing on SOHCAHTOA. All right. So now let us draw our triangle again. This time around, let us draw a right triangle. So I'm just sketching a right triangle. So draw along with me. So that's a right triangle, which is also applicable even if you're using doing Pythagorean theorem. So you can label your triangle any way you want, but you have to be consistent. I can label it A, B, and C. Now this means this is my small a, this is my small b, and this is my small c. Now the side that is facing the 90 degree has a special name. So what do you call it? It has a name. It starts with H. Hypotenuse. Yes, hypotenuse. So now the side that is facing any given angle. For example, if we give an angle B, any given angle or requested angle, given or requested. So let's represent it by the sine theta. And then, so the side that is facing it is the opposite. The side that is facing the given angle or requested angle is the opposite. And then the other side of it is the adjacent. All right. So trig ratio. So from the word ratio, we can represent ratio in three different ways. We can represent ratio with dots. Ratio of boys to girls, we can represent it by B to G. We can represent it as B to G. We can also represent it as B over G. So now that's just regular ratio. Now, how about trig ratio? Trig ratio is defined by the basic one. There are actually 6, but let's just focus on the basic one. So you have sine, theta is, the O here represents opposite. So opposite, make sure you are writing. Make sure you are writing as well. And make sure you are responding when I ask a question. Opposite of hypotenuse, and then cos theta is A is adjacent over hypotenuse, and C is for tangent. Theta is opposite over adjacent. So that's the basic trig ratio. So the other trig ratios, apart from these ones, the other ones are, they are called cosecant, secant, and cotangent. So this one is sine. This one is cosine, and T stands for tangent. Okay, so now we're just focusing on the first one, the first three. Sine opposite over hypotenuse, cosine adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent opposite over adjacent. So now we have to actually apply this using a real triangle. So let's draw another triangle and just give it some sides. give it, let's give some size to it. So let's draw another triangle. You can draw it doesn't really matter the shape of your triangle as long as it's a right triangle. So let me draw another triangle that looks somewhat like this. The way your triangle is facing does not count. What counts is it a right triangle? All right. If it's not a right triangle, the basic trigonometric ratio will not apply. And that's where you need the sine law and the cosine law. So now let's give our triangle some side. Let me assume that this side is 11, and let us assume that this side is 6. What will be the other side? Okay, so what will be the other side? By the way, if you are given a triangle like this, you can just use Pythagorean theorem to get the other side of the triangle. You can just use Pythagorean theorem to get the other side of the triangle, which is what we did. On the other hand, you may still be given the triangle and be given one of the angles, and then you'll be asked to find the other side. You'll be asked to find the other side. So I don't know which one you want us to do. Do you want us to use the Pythagorean theorem to find the other side and then find the angle, or do you want us to just give an angle and find the other side? Which one do you want? Okay, let's find the angle. Let's find the angle. Let's find the angle. Let's find this angle, theta. You can label it as your usual. This can be A, B, and C. All right. So, which means we are looking for the small a. Here is the small a, and here is the small b. So if you want to get small a, in this particular case, small a is the opposite. It is the opposite because it is the side that is facing the given angle, theta. So this is the opposite. So you can just call it opposite. And of course, this side is the hypotenuse, HP, HYP. And the other side is definitely the adjacent, ADJ. So now, by applying our basic trig ratio, you see, for you to apply trig ratio, each of them, you must have at least 2 variables. You must have at least 2 variables to get the third one. So now let's see what if what we have can give us the solution. Okay, let's write it. Let's write them out to start with. So sine theta would be opposite, which is A, over hypotenuse. Hypotenuse would be 11. Therefore, it follows that 11 multiplied by sine theta will give you the value of A. On the other hand, cosine theta is adjacent over hypotenuse. You see, adjacent here is 6. So you have 6 divided by 11. On the other hand, tangent theta is what? Opposite. Opposite is A divided by adjacent. Adjacent is 6. So it follows that 6 multiplied by tangent theta will give us the value of A. This is A, not 9. This is A. So if that is the case, you can see that we can actually use this one. We can use this one to determine the value of the angle. We can use this one to determine the value of the angle. So what shall we do? You grab your calculator. You grab your calculator. If you don't have a calculator, use your cell phone. Use the cell phone and divide. Just punch in the number. Use the cell phone and divide and give me 4 places of decimal. Use the cell phone, give me 4 places of the decimal. Okay. What's 6 divided by 11 gives us what?
9, 11.
6 divided by 11. Cos theta is 0.5455. That's cos theta. So now this is where it's getting interesting. This is where you have to have I wish we were in classroom so that you have a TI-84 plus calculator in order to get the theta. So let me come down. Let me come down a little bit. Let me come down a little bit. So from this point now, from this point, theta would be cos inverse of 0.5455. The question becomes, how do you get to the cos inverse? Cos inverse. This is hold on. This is the way you write it is cos raised to power minus 1. Cos minus 1. So now how do you get to that? If you look at your calculator, I believe you can also get this. In order to get that, you need to press the second function and press cosine. Press second function, press cosine, and then enter the number 0.5455. Then you close the parentheses, you hit enter, and that's 57 degrees. So theta is 57 degrees. It's actually 56.9. So I just approximated to 57. All right. You see? We now know the angle. That the angle is 57 degrees. And then using that, we can actually get the value of A. The value of A from here. The value of A here would be A is equal to 11 multiplied by sine 57 degrees. You grab your calculator again and type 11 multiplied by, you press the sign button, and then you type your 57, you close the parentheses, and you hit enter. Boom. And that gives you 9.2. So let's approximate it to 9. So let's just say it is 9. So A is 9. A is 9. Using the same angle, let's try this one. Let's try this one. Let's try this other one. This one, and see, we should get the same value 9 as well, but let's try it. So A is also 6 multiplied by tangent 57 degrees. Let's try it again. So you press your calculator, 6 multiplied by tangent, press the tangent button in your calculator and enter 57 degree, close the parentheses and hit enter. The same thing, 9. It gives us the same value. A is 9. A is 9. All right. Now, if A is 9, so let us use the Pythagorean theorem to actually find the value of A. So this one you can do by yourself. You can do it now. I give you 2 minutes. I give you 2 minutes. Use Pythagorean theorem to find the value of A. Okay, so what's the formula of Pythagorean theorem?
A squared plus B squared equals C squared.
Yeah, using Pythagorean theorem. Thank you for the suggestion. Theorem, and it says that A squared plus B squared equal to C squared. So I want everybody to apply that to see if we are going to have to get A to be the same 9 or 9 point something. So try it. You have 2 minutes. Call names. What did you get? Looks like somebody raised hand. Hold on, let me identify who. Who raised hand? Adam, do you have a question? Adam, do you have a question? Okay, so what do you get as your solution? Laurel, what did you get as your solution?
I got 9.2.
Okay, thank you. Did anybody get anything else? Kelena, what did you get as your solution? Angie.
Yeah, I got what she got.
Yeah, okay, you got the same number. All right, so we are correct.
Yeah.
All right, we are correct. So the for those who did not respond, what you should have just done would have been to, we are looking for A, so just say A squared plus B is 6, which is 6 squared equal to C is 11, 11 squared. And you evaluate it. So 6 squared is 36, and 11 squared is, I think it should be 121. Am I correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so that our A squared is going to be 121 minus 36, and whatever that gives you, what should that be?
85.
85. So now you are doing square root of A squared and square root of 85. So that should verify the value of A. So A is 9.2, basically, which is 9. So we are correct. So trigonometric ratio works. It does work. All right. So do you want us, is there any other example you think we should do on trig ratio before we go into something else?
Yes.
Or if you have any question.
We could do one more example.
Okay, we can do one more example.
I don't know what everyone else.
I hope I did not mess up my drawing. Hope I didn't mess up my notes. Probably did. Okay, you want us to do one more example? Then you need to tell us the, give us the size of the triangle. you want us to work on? What triangle do you want us to work on? Give us the side of any triangle. So it has to be a right triangle. And then it has to be a right triangle. So probably this time around we will not get, let's use the legs of the triangle. For example, we can use 3 and 4. All right. And we don't know the other side of the triangle. On the other hand, we can actually use Pythagorean theorem to get the other side. So let's quickly use Pythagorean theorem to get the C, so that we know that we are looking for the angle instead of the side. It's up to you. What do you want? I'm open to what you want. Do you want us to find angle, or do you want us to use Pythagorean theorem to find side?
Practice using the angle.
Okay, so let's find angle. Let's find angle. So this is the angle here is theta. You can label this as A and B and C. Once you have a right triangle, there's nothing that stops you from using Pythagorean theorem to get the missing side. So it is actually recommended. So let's just apply it right away. Let's just say that Pythagorean theorem C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared, right? So we have AB and we don't know C. So let's say C squared is equal to A is 4. So we just have 4 squared plus B is 3. 3 squared. So this gives us that C squared is what? 16 plus 9. So C squared is 25. So to get C, you just take square root both sides. C squared is square root of 25. So C is 5. Now we know that C is 5, right? So we can just plug it back into our triangle. We just write 5. And now we want to determine the angle A. So the question is find angle A. It can be find angle A or find or determine angle A. So the trigonometric ratio formula, SOHCAHTOA, that's the first thing you think about, SOHCAHTOA. SOHCAHTOA. Always write down the acronym. And now that we have 3 sides of the triangle, we can actually use any of them. We can actually use sine, we can actually use cosine, we can actually use tangent. So now, which one do you want us to use? You want us sine, cosine, or tangent? It's up to you. Let me know. Which of the 3 ratios do you want us to use? Am I talking to people or to myself?
Cosine. Cosine.
Cosine. Okay, let's use cosine. So cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. So we just have cos theta is adjacent ADJ over hypotenuse, HYP. And in that case, that should just be equal to adjacent. Now, you see the opposite. Like I said before, the opposite is the side that is facing the given angle. So in this case, the opposite is actually 4, and the adjacent is 5. The hypotenuse is always the one that is facing the right triangle, 90 degrees. So our adjacent now is, in this particular case, our adjacent is 3 divided by hypotenuse is 5. All right. So, which means cos of theta, which is cos A, is, use your calculator. Use your calculator, just divide, go to your calculator, divide 3, divide by 5, that gives us 0.6. You have 0.6000. And then the cosine, the theta itself is cos inverse 0.6000. So now, how do you get the cos inverse in your calculator? In your calculator, the cos inverse, I don't know if you're looking at I don't know if you can see my calculator. One way you can get it is, if you look at the layout of your calculator, there's one that says cos. So now if you look on top of it, there is a cos inverse. So in order to get to the cos inverse, you have to press the second function. You press second function, power on the calculator, second function, cos inverse, then enter the number 0.6000, close the parentheses, hit enter. And then that gives us what? 53.13. So we can just say that it is 53 degrees. 53 degrees. 53 degrees. So the angle is 53 degrees. So now if this angle is 53 degrees, 53 degrees, how do we get the other angle, angle B? Without using sine, and without using cosine, and without using tangent. Is there a way we can get the third angle? Is there any way we can get the third angle? Okay, by the way, what's the total angle in a triangle?
180.
Exactly. So if the total angle in a triangle is 180, and you have two of the angles already, how do you get the third one?
You subtract the two angles from 180, and your solution is the last angle.
Exactly. Thank you. Thank you for the assistance. So what he said is, just add up all the angles together and equal it to 180. Just say 180 degree. No, I'm sorry, not 180 degrees. Yeah. No, I don't want to write it this way. So here's what I wanted to write. Just say 90 degree plus 53 degree plus angle B equal to 180. So now what is 90 plus 53?
143.
143 plus B equal to 180. So that means that B is going to be 180 minus 143. And that should give us what?
37 degrees.
All right.
37.
All right. 37 degrees. And that's B. All right. So that's how to do it.